So my co-host is a staunch Donald Trump supporter, and we get into debates, arguments every single day. And but
good.
It's certainly
we have a lot of battles, John.
Yeah, we have
a lot of aggressive battles.
We have a lot of battles. Sometimes it gets heated, but you know what? I'm an independent, and because I trash Donald Trump every day because I think he deserves it, people want to label me a liberal. When I did not vote for Hillary Clinton, I didn't vote for Barack Obama. But anybody, who cares about that? JD, I want you to talk to John, and I want you to tell him why you're voting for Donald Trump over Joe Biden. Explain your reasons, and then I want John to respond to that. Go ahead.
I think that Donald Trump is a significantly more qualified business person than Joe Biden is, obviously. I think that Joe Biden is simply too old to be the president of the United States. I believe that. I mean, it really bothers me that Kamala Harris she was the most liberal senator for 3 years running. She was the least likely senator to vote bipartisan in a bill. What's going on with the fact that he hasn't denounced Antifa at any point, to me, is a major issue. The fact that it took him nearly 4 months to denounce violence at all, the fact that it wasn't mentioned at the DNC is an issue to me as well. I mean, there's a lot. I think that his mental acuity is not where it needs to be. I watched 2 days ago there was an interview that he did, I believe, in Pennsylvania, where he went on. You can call it a gaffe. I don't know what it was, but he basically completely butchered 2 or 3 sentences. And I think that Joe Biden is not. I wouldn't say he's being controlled by the dark shadows. That's probably a stretch. But I don't think that he's making his own decisions. And I am very fearful that if Donald Trump loses the 2020 election, then we could be looking at a socialist and or a Marxist or communist America, or at least the beginnings of one, especially with politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, the squad, if you will. So that's pretty much a couple of reasons as to why I prefer Donald Trump over Joe Biden. I also like the fact that he's not a career politician. I like the fact that he's not for sale. He doesn't need any money. He came into the presidency. He'll be probably the first president. Let's say that he loses in November. He'll be the first president to leave the office with less money than he had when he came in. I mean, he hasn't really. I mean, you look at the majority of politicians, both Democrat and Republican establishment politicians. The majority of them get significantly wealthy. They get very wealthy while in office. That's not the case with Donald Trump. He doesn't need any type of deal with a company to put any money in his pocket. He's not for sale, and I like the fact that he is very, very blunt and straightforward in his approach. Obviously, he's not like Barack Obama. He approaches it differently, but those are a couple of the reasons, John.
Yeah, and listen, all of those taken into a vacuum, I don't disagree with any of those. I do not go as far as saying that Joe Biden is going to bring a communist or a Marxist state to the United States, because if you flip that coin on the exact opposite side, one could argue that we're slipping into a fascist government with the current president, which is just as, if not more, dangerous. So that's of concern as well. When it comes to a businessman, I think after years of having family dynasties and seeing corrupt politicians come through, and people wanted a change. I mean, this was brewing from the 1970s on up with how people viewed the politicians in Washington, D.C., et cetera. So I can totally see how that message of wanting a business person, someone who is not, quote unquote, for sale, they want that person into the presidency. Now, a lot of those people, I feel, those reasons are why people voted for Donald Trump in 2016.
Which I agree with.
He was very blunt. He was a straight shooter, off the cuff. He was popular from his television show. He has that personality that people look up to and say, you know what? This guy has a personality. I can follow him. He's charismatic, and he's a good businessman. He has his name on the side of a helicopter. The guy has to be successful, right? However, we only know what he tells us in that aspect. We have not seen his tax returns. He's the one that cried and cried and cried for a birth certificate from Barack Obama. Let's not debate those merits, but we still haven't seen his tax return. So whether he needs the money or not, I'm not really sure of that. The counter argument I'm going to make to all of those things you just laid out, JD, is the following. Number one, I don't think we're going to slip into a communist state. We are going to have policy discussions. Period. End of story. So that's one. Number two, we really need a president who. Oh, I'm sorry. We need someone to follow the rule of law, and it's the rule of law based on statute and the Constitution. not pick and choose which rules and laws to follow based on what is popular via the populace or politics at a certain time, what's good for the individual. For example, the Trump convention, the GOP convention on the White House lawn, that not only flew in the face of norms, there were illegal activities that occurred, specifically relating to the sitting chief of DHS regarding the naturalization ceremony held at the White House with the RNC logo in the corner. That is a clear and distinct violation of the Hatch Act by the acting Department of Homeland Security chief with Donald Trump right there. He didn't care about that law. Didn't care about it. So we need someone who actually understands the laws and will follow the laws. If you disagree with the laws, you work with Congress to change them. Not only enforce the ones you want to and then decide, hey, I'm the president, I can do whatever I want in the other. Mm-hmm. But your comments on wanting a business person and someone that is outside of politics, I get. We need to reset. We need somebody else in there. And Joe Biden is that guy. We need somebody else in there to level us off, pull us together, and not be so divisive. And have respect for one